I just got to start with the news on the nose, and that is Donald Trump tested positive and Melania Trump tested positive today. So India-China, US-China relations may change, the whole world may change, but America has done a lot of things right, but a lot of wrong signals as well. What can we learn from what not to do and what to do from America? Adapted, of course, to Indian conditions.
Are you asking me that question?
Yes, please.
Okay. First of all, it's very unfortunate that our president has COVID. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So if there's anything I want to say is that I wish him and his wife the very best and a quick recovery from COVID. But let me talk about what, maybe we could have done and what we should do going forward. I think the biggest lesson we can draw is from the Spanish flu of 1918. And I think if you read the book, The Great Influenza by John Barry, and focus specifically on the last chapter of the book, which talks about what should be done, how should a pandemic response be organized, you'll find that perhaps we did some of those things, but we did it kind of late. The first thing that should have been done is very quick suppression of the virus by going into some sort of a lockdown and figuring out how we should behave as we slowly come out of suppression. That, I think, happened a little late. Second, we didn't have enough PPE available, which calls into question all our supply chains, our global supply chains. I think suppression and slowly coming out of it required ample availability of masks, protective gear for hospitals and frontline workers, and we were running short of that. The third, I think, is perhaps the biggest fault line that was uncovered in this whole process. Responding to the pandemic is like organizing a massive crisis management effort. And to really do that, you need the federal government, the state government to be organized the same way so that you have a docking station from the federal government to the state government in terms of testing and PPE and tracking and tracing and all of these initiatives. So as a country, we move in unison because people travel across the country. Unfortunately, we never practiced for a pandemic. And, when the government system is not working like a fine-tuned machine because we hadn't had pandemics for a long time, I think that we were sort of feeling our way to addressing this pandemic. We recovered quite a bit. The speed at which vaccines are being worked on, how quickly ventilators came, et cetera, is a good story. But I think up front in the suppression phase, I'm not sure we really knew what to do, and I think we paid the price for it.
Ma'am, this is Amitabh Bachchan again. You have always spoken very strongly about protecting our environment. And this pandemic has brought the focus back on how badly we are treating our planet. So again, if I could ask you, going forward, what are the key things we absolutely must not forget?
Thank you very much for the question. Very nice to talk to you, Mr. Bachchan, and I'm glad you've recovered too.
Thank you so much.
The environment is at the core of this COVID discussion, because let me go through every aspect of the environment that has sort of derailed us. It's comical that we tell people to wash their hands regularly with clean water, yet in many parts of the world, there is no clean water available. That's, in a way, a reflection of the environment, because if we don't have monsoons and rains and fresh water which are harvested and stored, we're never going to have water available for people. So water is a core issue. Second, COVID affected those who had comorbidities, asthma, diabetes, obesity, all of those issues. And if you look at asthma in particular, it comes because of a bad environment, smog in the air, impurities in the air. And COVID has showed us that if you have less smog in the air, you can actually see the Himalayas, you can see the stars, you can see the blue skies. So I think if there's one thing COVID has done, is that it has told us that we need a clean environment, we need clean air, we need water, we need trees so that we have a cover to pick up the excess carbon dioxide. And we actually need to go back to first principles to think about how to protect this planet. Lastly, the biggest issue is this. We have to rethink our relationship with livestock. I think we mistreat animals. We treat them badly before we kill them, and then we eat animals that have been really treated with antibiotics and other drugs, which weakens our own immune system. And I think we have to rethink our entire relationship with animals to make sure that they are not the source of viral outbreaks. So, this is not a time anymore to wait for the proof on climate change. I think environmental catastrophes are staring us in the face. And if we don't do something about this, COVID will just be the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Tip of the iceberg. That is, yeah.
Frightening.
Well, Indira Nooyi, you are one of the best top 25 all-time great Indians, and your words meant a lot there.